Hey everybody, this is Darryl at hudsonscustommachining.com. We've got a mess on the work table here today. This is the 27666 Emerson fan from 1918. It's 102 years old that I made a short video of just a few days ago. If you want to find it on YouTube, it's titled as, let's see, I think it was titled as 1918 Emerson fan type 27666. This is a 27 series fan. It's a six leaf blade fan. And in that video, which was part one, this fan was all assembled and sitting on this nail keg right here. So as of this afternoon, I've been working on getting this thing tore down in order to restore it. This video will be part two. I just wanted to show here what everything looks like as it's all torn down. And there's all, well, not all of the hardware, but a lot of the hardware. Some of this I've still not even got it apart yet, but I wanted to go ahead and make this video because we've got a storm moving in and I want to get all this stuff up. I'm outside and I want to get all this up before the storm gets here. So the gearbox I've not disassembled yet. It's still got all the gears in there and everything's all bound up. I'm going to have to disassemble this gearbox and tear it all apart. And everything was a real booger to get apart. A lot of these screws, you can see we had to use a lot of penetrant oil. I used a lot of this stuff right here. I don't even know if you can still buy that anymore. That's been in one of my flammable cabinets for probably 30 years. But anyway, that's what I used to get this all apart. Now the base, I addressed the base in my last video, how badly pitted it was. You can see how this has been sitting in water. It was pitted so bad. The screws that hold the motor, the knuckle that holds the motor, I did get that one to come out, but the one on this side was so badly pitted I couldn't get it out. And you'll see right there I tried grinding to try to get that screw to come out of there, and it just was not going to happen. That's just so badly rusted together I ended up just having to cut this ear off. So, which I think is going to be fine with me because I was going to have to spend a lot of time filling in all these pits on this base. So what I'll do now is I'll just find an old junker Emerson fan, another 27 series fan. It doesn't have to be a 27666, it can be a 27646, any number of models as long as it's within that 27 series. And of course I want to try to work with as much of this stuff as I can because I want to use as many of the original parts as possible. This base obviously is going to have to be replaced. I have had these to break off. The fan would maybe fall off of a table or something and they'd break off. And I have had success welding this ear back on. But I think in this case, just to get around all of this stuff right here, I'm just going to go ahead and replace this base with another one off of an old junker fan. So probably the next step here is going to be for me to get this badge off of this cage here. Let's turn it around right side up. This Emerson badge here, this is what we call an etched badge. I'll get this off of the cage so I can start working on this cage. I'll bead blast this cage and get all the rust off of it. I'll have to replace that wire that's missing right here. So the tricky thing about getting these badges off is you see all these little tabs around the back side where the tabs were folded over onto that center cage ring. This badge was put on 102 years ago. This fan was made in 1918 and here we are 2020. So the last time these tabs were moved, they were bent over at the Emerson factory in St. Louis. So we'll have to straighten these tabs up to get this badge to come off of here. And it's not too bad getting these off. The problem is these tabs were straight back when the badge was made. They put it on this cage and they bent this, so it's been bent one time already. So I'm going to bend it again to straighten it back up to get it off. And then I'm going to bend this tab again to put it back on when I get this cage ready. So 3 or 4 times of bending these tabs, they're real likely to break off. They'll fatigue and break off right here. So we got to be real careful with that. But I'm going to try to use this original badge if I can. And that'll be one of the next steps. Another step will be getting this motor housing in some type of solvent to try to get all this. You should have seen all the spider webs and spiders and bugs that come out of here. There's even a stick. I found a stick in there. I don't know how that was inside the motor. So anyway, you can see some of the spider webs here on the end bell of the motor. There's the stator right there. It still looks like it's in pretty good shape. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to check it with the meter, but I'd be willing to bet the stator's still good. However, I'm going to give it some thought because I'm going to put a lot of time into restoring this fan. I don't know if I want to put this stator back in there. I may just clean it up and re-insulate it, put new head wires on it, and use it. On the other hand, I may send it down to my friend Rick down in Lufkin, Texas. Rick rewinds stators for me. I may just have him rewind this stator, and we'll just go back with a brand new stator, all new wires in here. Here's the switch. It's another mess. So it's plenty usable. The porcelain's not broken. Everything looks good about it. Might have to replace some of these laminates. These laminate plates right here are pretty rusted up, so I may have to replace some of these, but we'll see when we get to it. You can see the tape is broken away right there. You can see some of the wires wound down in this choke coil right here, but I'd be willing to bet this choke coil still works. So anyway, that's all for now. This is a long video. I generally don't like to make them this long, but I wanted you to see where we're at with this. So I'm going to close for now. Thanks for watching my videos. Y'all subscribe, please, and take care. Catch you later.